YouTube, Ranger of Oz here, trying to keep it down because it's a little bit late and I shouldn't be doing this at this point. But I have been saying I was going to do this. As you can see down in the corner, because he's not talking at the moment, so his video isn't going to come from the front. I'm being joined by the Phantom of the Opera.
Yes, my friend.
Ranger of Night has apparently decided that after I don't know how many of these we've done now, he wants to put a mask on. So yeah, he's the Phantom of the Opera now. Just leave it at that. Yeah.
Yes, I just don't
So,
I don't sing opera.
Please don't. Alright, so let's go straight. First thing I want to cover tonight, this is going to be a weekly thing. Every week, roughly within 12 hours
Friday.
now. Yeah, well, it's Friday for us, but it's Thursday for America. Okay? There's time frame things and everything else you got to remember, dude.
Yes.
So we're going to do a little news thing that is going to cover mostly nerdy stuff. We're going to keep an eye on stuff for the Avengers movies, Marvel Cinematic, DC Comics, Superman vs. Batman, Flash, Atom, Arrow, whatever other TV shows they've got going, video games, comics, wrestling, whatever. And it's basically just going to be discussing news. Aside from this, there will be breaking news reports as big stuff shows up, and every so often, when I can afford it, there will be toy reviews and other content on Mondays and food reviews on a Wednesday. Again, that's going to be as I can afford it.
Yes.
Because I'm not running on a lot of funds right now. I've got basically nothing. I make that doesn't, how much I'm making at the moment doesn't matter, but
He's
basically
a kid from a Dickens story.
Basically. So that's going to be when I come up with something, this is going to be weekly. And it's basically just going to be rambling and us talking about what's come up for the nerdy news, movies and whatever, wrestling and whatever. Now, speaking of wrestling, there was a bit of a misdirection from Sting. Last week he posted the date for this week's Monday Night Raw, and a lot of people, myself included, I'll admit it, got all excited because we thought this was going to mean something we have been waiting for a very long time, and that would be Sting appearing in a WWE ring for the first time in his Major Leagues career.
I did tell you that this is about the game.
You did say that, yes, but I was having hope. Now, while he didn't actually show up in the ring, the fact that they have got him for WWE 2K15 tells us that there is a possibility that he might show up maybe at WrestleMania, maybe one of the other pay-per-views, maybe they'll resurrect one of the old WCW pay-per-views and bring him in for that. He might show up in the Hall of Fame. What we do know...
Or maybe they can do a TP special, get back the Clash of the Champion as a TV special for him.
Well, we know he's got a DVD coming. We know he's pre-order bonus for 2K15.
And he looked like a Final Fantasy villain.
What this basically means...
Seriously, he looked like the bad guy, man. He was given the bad guy look. Seriously, I was afraid when I saw him. The music, the look, it's like a cutscene from a video game that introduces a bad guy.
I have to educate you, don't I? I have to educate him. I'm sorry, folks. He doesn't know anything about WCW. The music, his entrance into the video clip, all that sort of thing, that was basically how he took on the NWO. He had on screen, at least, the entire NWO terrified of him. One guy. This entire organization they'd been running roughshod all over the WCW wrestlers. And he, one guy. If you want to get the full story, WWE is doing a DVD documentary on him. Everything will be explained in there.
Yes.
Long story short, he used to come out with the blonde hair and the coloured makeup and everything else, and everyone
And
thought
team
he
up
was
with
joining the
RoboCop.
NWO.
And team up with RoboCop.
Everyone thought he was joining the NWO. Yes, and team up with RoboCop. I just said that.
Especially, if I remember right, Lex Luger. Who was
Yes.
his team partner in that time. He hit him.
Yes, they
Someone
were
that
tag
looked
team
like
champions.
Sting hit him. Then that was started the rumors when he was attacked by someone. He said he was looks like Sting. See, I
Sting shot a
did some
promo.
research
Sting shot a promo in which he had his
and
back
gave
to the
him
camera
a bat.
and basically said that since everyone had turned their backs on him, he was turning their backs on them, and he vanished for a few months.
If I remember right, they didn't allow him to join the team in the War Game match.
I don't know exactly, but I know he vanished for a few months, and he came back dressed as the Crow. Brandon Lee's the Crow. He was the face paint, the black and white and everything else. The music became creepy. It was basically a version of the music that you heard in the ad.
Yes. To admit, I never saw the movie.
And he did, mind games. There was one time where, I think it was the first time you saw him. They did a long, almost an Undertaker style promo with the kid reading a script, and then the lights went out and the lights came back on, and there's a vulture or a buzzard or something sitting on the ring rope, and then a spotlight came on, and the camera went up to the top of the big screen, and Sting's standing there,
And
just
he came
staring.
down from the roster.
Not that time. That was the first time I saw him, and he was just standing there, and he was just staring. He just stared right at Hogan, and Nitro went off the air. That was the last thing you saw for Nitro that week.
Okay.
And then there was a whole lot of build-up. He did some hit-and-run attacks. He handed Luger, DDP, and Giant, who we know nowadays as the Big Show, baseball bats at one point, and it all led up to a big thing, Hulk Hogan versus Sting for the World Heavyweight Championship.
At what the name of the movie was?
Starcade.
Star some, yeah.
I believe it was Starcade.
97.
Yes. So, yeah, that's what that whole promo, part of the promo was. It was going back to the black and white Sting, the Crow, the creepy one, the one a lot of people remember, the one, certainly the first time I saw Sting, he was in that get-up, and it was that attitude and personality and stuff.
Okay.
So it was meant to be creepy. He was meant to be not quite a good guy. And seeing that, on the one hand, it's disappointing that he didn't actually show up. in the stadium. Would have been nice. Just saying. On the other hand, he's on the books. They have a contract. He could show up at any time, or he might not show up at all. Yeah.
I
It's
heard
sort
he
of,
signed with the game company, not with the WWE itself.
well, theoretically, yes, that might not mean he'll show up in the ring. However, there's that door. They're
And
going to want.
Vince did tease his raised on Twitter his appearance in the ring soon.
We can only hope, quite honestly. I know a lot of people. I mean, yes, Sting's getting on in years. He's not a younger man anymore. But he is one of my favorite wrestlers. And he is one of the guys that got me into wrestling in the first place. So the idea of him being in the ring with Triple H or John Cena or Kenta, who recently signed a contract with the WWE, showing up in NXT very soon. For those of you who don't know, Kenta
Yes.
is a Japanese professional wrestler who is best known
Yes.
for, how do I say this? Innovating a move some people may have seen before. A little something
Two moves.
called two moves.
Two.
One,
Two
a little
people
something, a little something called the go to sleep, and a little something. I'm going to say this wrong. I am going to say this wrong, and I apologize. The Buzukai knee. I said that wrong. I know I said that wrong.
Just call it the flying knee.
I gotta use the right name. You gotta use the right name.
Think of yourself as the dub guy.
So,
You're dubbing it.
Go away, people. Nah, I gotta say it right. I'm a bit of a Japanophile, so I gotta say it right. Leading into that, actually, there are rumors flying around. I don't know if you've heard this one or not, mate, but there are rumors flying around that with the success of the Dragon Ball Z movie, Battle of the Gods, Akira Toriyama has been inspired. There are talks that he may be doing another series, or at the very least, another movie.
Bro, do you have a
So we might be
memory
seeing some.
problem?
Hey, I don't remember where I
told
hear
you
some of
there
this
is a
stuff.
new
Some of it's off Range Board, some of it's off you.
I told you there is a new movie.
Do you know how many people I talk to? How many
Okay.
message boards and whatever I see this sort of news on? Seriously, I don't remember where I hear it from. I honestly don't know.
Okay, okay. I have a little ego. I think everything I say you remember. That's just my ego. Talk.
There's a lot of stuff that goes around that ends up showing up on my Facebook or whatever. If I don't get who told me wrong, I apologize. But I see a lot of stuff.
Let's talk about something else. It looks like if you're white and you're blonde, there's a danger you're turning black.
What?
So they just recast the Bendis comic, Power.
Mm-hmm.
They just cast the lead female character and they make her black. Blonde, young character.
Yeah, vaguely.
They cast a black actor for the role.
I don't know a lot about Power, so I don't know which character you're talking about, but
The lead
honestly,
one.
okay, honestly, there are probably going to be a lot of people that are going to throw things at me. I don't see a change of hair color to be a big thing. There are these things called wigs and hair dye. Unless you're saying that she's gone from being a Caucasian to a Afro-American, in which case, okay, yeah, I suppose it could be annoying, but they're doing that with the Fantastic Four reboot. Johnny's going
You know
black,
what?
so
I know. There's something I don't understand. These actors are they that desperate for work? You're not right for the role. Why accept it? You're that desperate for a job?
actors don't care. They get a position, they get a role, they get out there, they get a chance to be famous. They don't care.
Being assholes. Fuck them.
Recording, Samantha. Sorry. Love you too. Anyway, so where were we? Right. It's always going to happen.
I'm just saying, I'm not against using character from other races. Just invent new characters. You know what I think about the thing. If you want to use black characters or Hispanic or any not white, just made new characters. It's not hard.
But then you get people who are fans complaining this character wasn't in the comic. It's very rare that you get a successful crossover character. Um, Phil Coulson, Harley Quinn. It's not something that happens successfully a lot. So,
See,
yeah, in any
the best,
event.
you know how to make the crossover, the new character work.
How?
Don't push them directly as big roles. Put them in the background, and then with time, make them bigger. Carlson, as the start, was not the big role. He was just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, until maybe people was used to him, and then he was given a bigger role. Right or no?
It's the thing is that some people don't want to go through that. They've got a set of characters and they go for it. Coulson wasn't technically introduced, and well, he was introduced in the first Iron Man, and he was only supposed to be a one-off, and that was it. Now,
And then he was big. See, people hate when you push the character they like and just use the new characters. But introduce the new characters little by little, would now not taken from the old characters, and they will accept it.
the difference here is with the Marvel movies, there were contracts. They knew there were going to be more of them, so they were going to start putting in background characters. How many episodes do we know for sure Powers has? Is it a series or is it a movie?
How is a Sony? It's a series and it's by Sony, and I'm not
Yes.
seeing them canceling the damn thing. It's their only show on Sony Plus now.
Yeah,
It's
and
not
then
they had a million show.
more things come in. They get access to more properties. This one maybe isn't as popular as they thought it was. They shovel it aside and say, okay, let's try something new. So they're not going to rely on brand new side characters if they don't think the show is going to go.
And from what I heard about the comics, there is a storyline that will not work with the new casting for the character.
then they might not use it. Okay, this is something that bugs me with people going for translating movies or whatever. They all seem to think that if you don't copy the storylines from the comic pages, from the book, from the cartoons, it's going to fail.
You know, I'm not one of these guys.
No, but you just brought up a storyline from the comic that isn't going to help with the character change. Then they just won't use that storyline.
Okay,
It's
let's
that
move
simple.
on. It's not like I care about these comics.
Hey, you brought it up.
I'm just saying. So
Okay.
what do you think about the new Thor?
Yes, the female Thor. Honestly, this isn't the first time they've done this.
Honestly, I think the marketing about it, the naming about it is stupid. Just call her the new goddesses of thunder. Why? Thor is his name. It's not his title. He's Thor. That's his first name. How? And someone can what? He's using another name now. It's like
People
saying
say
there is a female Jeffrey, and Jeffrey is not now. Is not Jeffrey.
people keep bringing this up. That's one specific thing that people tend to bring up. However, they seem to forget a little something, a little story arc, a little character by the name of Eric Masterson.
Yes, I remember him. The builder. He
He was an
worked
architect.
like a yes.
He was an architect. He designed buildings.
Yes, I remember him.
Now, he took on the power of Thor when Thor was unable to fulfill his position for a little while. Do you remember what he called himself whilst he was using that power?
Thor.
So,
Still.
we have the same situation here. The only difference is, one, we have seen a photo of Thor, or an illustration of Thor on a leaked Avengers cover without his powers, holding an axe. So
Yes.
he's still around while this female Thor is running around. Which brings me to the second thing that seems to be bugging people about all this. It's a woman. From what I can gather, it's a woman. And
I don't have a problem with that.
no, you wouldn't have a problem with that. You're going to spend the entire time that she's in the comics ogling her bum.
And my reaction was, damn, she's hot.
Now, the thing that
And she
seems to
like mask like me.
the thing actually her helmet and mask combination more resembles Eric's, but anyway. The thing that seems to be coming up with this is that people are upset, people are upset that this is happening because it is a female Thor and it shouldn't be necessary, and I kind of agree.
Yes,
I mean,
it's necessary. Thor looked like a female in the first place. Long hair.
the excuse they seem to be using is that they want to equalize it. They want to update the inscription on Thor's hammer. Which apparently is like whatever man or can lift the hammer, be they worthy, shall inherit the power of Thor, whatever that exact inscription was in the 60s. There's a problem with that. They've had women holding Thor's hammer before. Hell,
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman has picked it up. Jane picked it up in the 60s, or at least had those powers.
Sit.
I mean,
What's
there's Sif. There's no reason to say, oh, this is a new thing. It's not a new thing. It's farthest from a new thing. But
dude?
because they want to equalize things, that's the change. I'm not saying that gender equality is a bad thing. I know if I
It's
don't
not.
say that, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm not saying that at all.
Yes.
What I'm saying is that if Marvel is having problems and don't feel that their hero, male hero to female hero ratio is equal, if they don't feel there is enough equality in their comics, the
There's
answer
a
is...
easier solution.
Can I finish what I was saying?
Let me see what the solution is. And without, just give Valkyria a comic book. She's a female. She's a Asgardian.
Well, there's that. Or there's another thing. If you don't feel like you have enough female heroes, if you don't feel like you have, enough big name heroes, you can either do what he just said and bring some of your B grades up to your A game, or make some. Honestly, you have technologically advanced people, you have accidents, you have gamma radiation, you have mutants, you have cosmically empowered, you have
You have
inhumans,
Legacy.
you have legacy, you have so many other options. Make a new female hero. This brings me to my next problem. Okay, as some of you may know, Sam Wilson, the Falcon, has just appeared in the Avengers cinematic universe in Captain America: The Winter Soldier. He's also
Anthony Mack.
appeared. He has also been appearing in the in the recent Avengers cartoons, Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and Avengers
Yes.
Assemble. Now, with Sam getting some upfront, in-your-face